This is what I brought you here to see.
The Exo Stranger is back in Destiny 2. Why is that? Today we're going to recap everything we know about the Stranger, or at least the most important parts, starting from Destiny 1 Vanilla, and then try to explain her role in Destiny 2's new expansion, Beyond Light. If you guys enjoy this video and find it helpful, leaving me a positive rating is greatly appreciated. And for more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future uploads. For more Destiny content specifically, you can check out the video I made a few days ago on Destiny's rarest exotic weapon. You can watch that video by following the link found in the description or by clicking the icon showing up in the top right corner of your screen. For those of you who didn't play Destiny 1, the Exo Stranger is one of Destiny's most infamous characters, while also being a character that people know very little about. The Stranger is a character that really personifies the entirety of Destiny 1 Vanilla, something with a lot of mystery, excitement, and promise that ultimately leads nowhere. Destiny 1 Vanilla was largely criticized for its unfulfilled promises, and the Exo Stranger was a huge example of this in the game. Being the one character that kept players going through the campaign, she brought light into an otherwise boring mess of a story. Unfortunately, the Stranger's plotline led absolutely nowhere in the end, as by the conclusion of the game, players hadn't learned anything about her. Consequently, the Exo Stranger became a big Destiny meme and metaphor, mainly for this line.
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
If you could sum up Destiny 1 Vanilla in one sentence, it would be that. A lot of interesting concepts, none of it explained. Obviously, a lot has changed since then, but I think it's important to remember the roots of the Stranger before shifting the focus to Beyond Light. So what does the Stranger do in Destiny 1? Not much. You guys know this by now. We're going to explain some story stuff here, and since I know Destiny can be confusing and the story can become long-winded, we're going to cover it all in true Timbo SparkNotes fashion. The Stranger works and fights for an unknown faction, a faction that knows more about the darkness than we do. She possesses technology that ghosts don't understand. She is capable of appearing and disappearing out of reality, and her weapon has parts in it that apparently shouldn't exist yet. She seems to learn about certain enemies as the Guardian does though, so she's intelligent but not all-knowing. Those that encounter her have various opinions as to what she is and where she comes from. In the past, I've made videos connecting the Stranger to a Dark Guardian race, Osiris and the Vex, Rasputin the Warmind, and probably some other things like Xur and the Nine and puppets. Those videos are pretty old now. They'd probably be really interesting to watch, but it would take an insane amount of time to recap them here, and the information, might not be relevant anymore. If you want to check them out, I have a playlist titled The Mystery Behind, and you'd be able to find them all here. As a matter of fact, I'll probably put this video in that same playlist. While we know very little about the Stranger, it's important to note that she can move in and out of time and realities and things like that, similar to the Vex. In Destiny 1 itself, the Stranger's role in the story was mainly to guide the player to the Black Garden and destroy its heart. In the game, she seemed to follow the player around out of interest rather than obligation. In Destiny 1, your Guardian is presumably the One, being a Guardian that has, quote, succeeded where others have failed. This is primarily why the Stranger has an interest in you specifically, as she alludes to having witnessed other fire teams of Guardians who failed when attempting to stop the darkness in the Black Garden. So it's never explained very clearly, and things have changed in the lore with, what the darkness is and how it works and whatnot since then, but basically the Stranger traveled across different realities or went backward in time to find the Guardian, aka you, who defeats the Black Heart. After you do so, she hands you her blue rare weapon and dissolve effects out of existence. And for those of you who are unaware, the Beyond Light trailer is the first time players are seeing her since. You can make an argument against that, but personally, I don't count various illusions potentially referencing her in future war cult quests or random sparrows. She has literally been gone from the game for 6 years. At one point before Destiny 2 released, a statement from Luke Smith came out where he basically said that the Stranger is never coming back. He stated that he believed her story arc was executed and wrapped up well. Some people got angered by that, some were relieved, some didn't care, and others thought he was joking. Sometime after that, during Destiny 2's Warmind expansion, lore came out on various sparrows that hinted at the fact that the Stranger was Elsie Bray, Anna Bray's sister that went missing thousands of years ago. This is yet to be confirmed or denied officially, and we will be coming back to this later on in the video. Now, what is up with the Stranger in Beyond Light? Quite frankly, There's no way to say for certain until people get their hands on the game. However, there is actually a lot of information we can gather from the trailers and general information on the DLC. In the Beyond Light gameplay trailer, the Stranger says she comes from a place where the darkness won, and she won't let it happen again. This points us to Europa, the birthplace of the Exos and the setting for the Beyond Light expansion. It also points us towards a place called the Deep Stone Crypt. The Deep Stone Crypt is admittedly a little ambiguous. Some call it a dream Exos experience, some say it's a vision Exos see when they die, but basically speaking, in this place, the Exo encounters a battlefield and is forced to slay an army of everyone they have met while trying to reach a monolith. Since human minds are what is uploaded into the War Machine bodies, the Exos have lost the location of the Deep Stone Crypt, unsure if it was ever real at all. It's been confirmed in Beyond Light that the Deep Stone Crypt is a real place, being the location for a raid. On Europa, Bungie stated that Guardians will brave the unrelenting glacial frontier, infiltrate the Golden Age Braytech facility, and uncover the secrets that lie deep under the ancient ice. Being a technological powerhouse in the era before the collapse, Braytech was established in Destiny 2 as the developer of the Exo race. While people have known about this for some time now, with Europa being one of the earliest concept art locations Destiny has ever had, this fall we will finally get to unravel the mystery for ourselves. Now there's also the darkness pyramids of Europa, as well as the new villain named Aramis, who is the leader of a new fallen empire. However, in my opinion, and for the sake of this video, the history of the Exos will be the most important story beat in Beyond Light, especially when we fix our eyes forward to Destiny 2's other expansions coming out in 2021 and 2022. God, I'm gonna be old when that happens. Getting back to the Stranger now, you can probably see some of the connections, those being the darkness, the Exos, the planet Europa itself, Braytech technologies. It all adds up to some of the things we talked about earlier. I mentioned before that back in 2018, people speculated that the Stranger was Elsie Bray, their main source of the connection deriving from lore that appeared on various Sparrows during the time of the Warmind expansion, as well as Anna Bray and the Stranger having identical symbols on their armor. While this was never confirmed, if you're asking me, I would say this theory still rings true 2 years later. It is very possible that the Stranger's mind belongs to Elsie Bray, daughter of the famous scientist who ran Braytech and sister to Anna, whom we see in-game. Elsie mysteriously disappeared thousands of years ago before Destiny's story began, leaving room for the Stranger to embody her. In this expansion specifically, the Stranger could be given a personal motive. She could try to reconnect with her past in some way, to right the wrong in some alternative reality where the darkness won on Europa. Doing so, we can learn more about what happened to her, what she's been up to, connect the links between Destiny 1 Vanilla and now, as well as unravel the mysteries of alternative realities, the Exos' origins, and much more. While there is no definite link as of right now, I would be pretty surprised if something else was going on here. And regardless, I'm assuming that no matter what, we will finally get the explanations the Stranger never seemed to have time for. You can be sure that when it all goes down, I will be covering it right here on this channel. Some people have also made a note of the Stranger's floating creature thing. It's apparently not a ghost, according to Luke Smith, so only time will tell what that is too. Whether it's a Braytech machine, a weapon, a time machine, a microtransaction, who honestly knows? But that's all I have in today's video. In the comments below, let me know who you think the Stranger is and what she will be doing in the Beyond Light expansion. If you guys enjoyed the video, leaving me a like is greatly appreciated. For more content like this, make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.